I welcome you to the channel, and yes, it's so great to see you again. I apologize for the echo. Yeah, I'm in a very empty space, so apologies for the echo. So Bokoko, I want to talk today about being aware in public spaces, especially in the shopping malls or in the shops where you fit clothes. It's very important for you to be very much aware of what happens around you. But before I get to that, I would like to remind you to subscribe, comment, like, share. We love the shares because what you get value from, someone else might be desperately in need of it. So, to share. Ubuntu says, Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. I am because we are. So let's get on to it, Bokoko. A lot of people do not understand that there is a concept of something called inherited spirits. Spirits that you inherit through your actions. Sometimes you will be aware that you are in a space where you can inherit them, but most times you are not aware. That is why sometimes if maybe you are walking in the dark, then your hair at the back goes up and you can feel that something is not right. Even when you get home, you can still feel that there is a heaviness around you, there is a change of mood, there is a sadness within you. Normally when you feel that, it is important ukuthi uqhumise, uthunyise, whether it's mbepo or an old rag, just burn it and just sniff it. And if you are someone who uses sniff, you would use your sniff just to ground yourself. So the inherited spirits, what are they and how do they affect you? So most people, they go to the mall and they're looking to shop for some beautiful drip or some threads, as they say. So you get there and you go around the shop and you start looking around and you see items that you like and you take them to the fitting room to fit them. Now, what people do not know that there are some rituals that are done where someone will get explicit instructions from whoever is their healer or whoever is helping them to deal with some things. So these people will tell the person that in order for you to get rid of a certain spirit, a spirit that is undesired or an entity that has infiltrated you, you need to pass it on to someone else. Sometimes people will say, when it comes to cleansing of spirits, you can go and be cleansed, but sometimes they will get that explicit instruction that in order for this thing to leave you, you need to hand it over to someone else. But it does not need to be directly, but you need to attach it to something. So this person, they will go to the fitting room and then they will actually speak to the item of clothing that they are going to be fitting, and they will do a certain ritual and speak to the spirit and say, now I am handing you over to the next person who is going to be wearing these clothes. Know that that person is the person who is going to look after you, who is going to be your home, or who is going to be your host. And then they will do whatever they need to, and then they will wear the skirt or the dress. Most of the time, it's your skirts and your pants. And then after that, after they're done with the ritual, then they will take the item of clothing back to the shelves or to the wherever it was hanging. And when you come and you fit the clothes, and guess what? Congratulations, you've just inherited an entity or a spirit. And sometimes there are times when you are in public spaces, you will feel, or after you've participated in a certain activity, you will feel that something is not right. And maybe you've just fitted the clothes and then you will think that, my waist, maybe it's because I was bending too much, or maybe it's because I've been walking around too much. No. You have just inherited a spirit. You have just inherited something. Now, this reminds me, while I was a Petreni, I was not allowed to sit on chairs. because that is how it's supposed to be. But even when we're in public spaces, and you will even have, I remember one time I had to stand for like 3 hours, 3 full hours waiting, and people were like, why don't you sit down? I'm like, no, I can't. It's fine. I enjoy standing. And that time you can see, that I'm actually tired, but I cannot sit on the chairs. Or if I had to then get into a space, you do something with your hand, and obviously there would be something on your hand, For instance, if you have to use public transport or something, then there's a gesture or something that you do so that you do not neutralize the space, so that the spirits that are there, you do not inherit them. Because some people will even be told that get into a taxi or a vehicle that transports different people, so that this spirit that you have, or this entity that you want to get rid of, chances are they might encounter someone who is of their clan, then they can attach to that person. So there's a lot of work that gets to be done, or rituals that get to be done in public spaces, and those affect you without you knowing. Some people, they will go to the middle of the road and get rid of something. Some people, they will even be doing rituals where they are returning things to their people, or they can get to that space and bayotwebula, spirits, to go and abduct some spirits. So there's a lot of things that is happening in public spaces. So this video is meant to be a warning video for you. I even remember when we were growing up, we were not allowed to share clothes with other children, even at school or even around home, because we were being taught about the concept of ownership. But at the same time, even though the elders would not tell you, they were actually helping you or eliminating a chance of you inheriting something from someone else. One specific or typical one or common one was when, was when we were told as girls that do not borrow someone your skirt. You will end up, if that person has menstrual cramps, or period pains, you will end up inheriting those. And sometimes if then it had happened that someone has taken an item of clothing of yours, when you brought it home, there were rituals, for instance, like putting it on a broom, those brooms with a long stick, tying it around it, or sweeping it across a dog. So there were things that one would do. In some homes, they would have umuti that they would use to turn the energies in those items of clothing. So this is just to remind you, it's even the same thing with the thing of people borrowing each other wigs. Woo! You better beware. Be aware and be scared, because a lot can happen in that process. So in this video, I just wanted to share that when you go to these spaces, have a way of protecting yourself, whether you pray over the clothes that I'm going to fit. That is why it's important. We are taught in the African culture, especially if you are someone who's gifted, because you are an open portal. You attract a lot of energy. You pick up auras, you pick up energies. It's important for you ukuthi ubike ekhaya before you leave. Ubika emadlozini, ubika ebantwini abadala. You report. Yes, that's the right word. You must report when you are going to leave home, and invite your ancestors or your ancestors to go with you wherever you are going, to protect you, to provide for you, even to sweep the road ahead of you, so that if you go somewhere, for instance, there are times when you were supposed to go and you got delayed, and you leave later on, and then along the way you see an accident that you can see it has just happened. So those delays are about, saving you from that, or you meet someone, they start talking to you, and you can feel, oh, this person is delaying me, I'm in a hurry. Sometimes they are being used so that maybe a spirit that was going to pass that you would have inherited unknowingly or unwittingly. So it's important for you to be very much aware all the time. Invite your people to go with you, to partake in activities with you, so that you can always be protected. You can always be surrounded by whatever, whether it's fire, whether it's water, whether it's a tornado, but always ask your people to guide you and protect you, and be aware when you go into those spaces that I spoke about, that people do things there. They don't just go for shopping. Some people, they go under strict instructions or explicit instructions to go and perform a certain ritual. I remember one time in one of my videos, yes, I think it's titled Awareness in Public Spaces. I went to this shop to go and buy fabrics, and there was this lady there, and I was looking for a dressmaker at that time to make some dresses for me. So I saw her buying the kind of fabric that would be used for the dresses, So I wanted to inquire if she's a dressmaker. But her answer, I asked her, because these were masila abadimo, ingubo zamadlozi, ancestral cloths. I asked her, what are you going to do with those? Are you going to be making dresses because I'm looking for a dressmaker? I said, no, I'm going to be bewitching with them. I'm going to use them to bewitch. And at that moment, it hit me so hard that when umntana madlozi, or a gifted child, or the chosen one, sometimes in some of part of your protection, there's people who will even use spahluka, and other mutis, which allows you actually to catch people off guard. People will come and tell you. Sometimes someone will even come and give you what they're going to use to poison you. Or they will come and tell you that wena uyansinda, or wena kudala bekuzama, but abalungi, or athi kudala sikuzama, we've been trying our luck on you, but it's not working. Don't take those things lightly. When that happens, it's because your ancestors, your guides, your spirit guides, they are the ones who are making that person to confess. This takes me back to a movie I was part of called Mama Jack. And there was this scene where this woman was being given, and I just remembered I was actually playing fake Sangoma. So I mixed up this muti, and it was called the Truth Elixir or something like that, but it made someone to tell the truth. And this woman started, saying things, exposing herself and everybody who needed to be exposed. So Bogogo, I just want to say that sometimes you'll be gifted enough or lucky enough to have Abogogo who will make people to do that. Do not take it light. The same way that with your dreams, do not take them light. On the next video, I will be talking about telling dreams and the importance of heeding them. See you in the next video.